know Heather in the real world?
We've met a few times at Orange Theory, and our kids were at the same Taekwondo studio, but no. I will say, but she's an actress, and that works too. Like Beverly Hills is similar. I love Beverly Hills.
It's gonna be a good season.
Yeah. So, but I think there's some people go on the show to sell a product. Some people go to get out of an unhappy marriage because it gives you financial security. There's a lot of reasons to go in the show now that aren't, I want to share my life.
What about, does any part of you take pleasure or just smile a little bit in the fact that, they let you go to make room for somebody, to bring back Heather, to hire Jennifer Armstrong, to hire Noella, and here we are, we have bad ratings. Does any part of you say, good?
Yeah, the petty part. I wish I could say I was that far on my journey that it didn't help numb the sting. It does. If it was doing well and it was getting over 1 million, it'd be like, oh, that sucks. But yeah, of course. It's like when your ex, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would be.
I work every day to be the best person I can, but there is still a part of me that can be a petty bitch at times. Yeah.
Well, I think also, no, I mean, that's honest. I mean, I
can't be anything but honest. I wish I could be.
I would be thrilled. Are you kidding me?
Like I said, I'm a good person that can still do bad things. But yeah, it does help numb the sting. Yeah, for sure.
I would be. I mean, well, it's like Andy even leading into this season. There was a lot of buildup. Look, we waited. This wasn't
it was
just
supposed to be a reboot.
Yes.
And it wasn't.
No.
If you're going to do a reboot, go Miami. That was a great reboot. That's how you do it right. That was excellent casting. You nailed it. This was just a bunch of people that don't fit. You can't cast I swear, I should be in casting.
You and me both.
We could do a great
job. You and me 100%.
I mean, Tamra should have come back, cast Megan King, cast some of Tamra's friends. You just can't bring in random people.
Do you think that they should just do what they're doing with New York and just start over?
Yes. I think at this point you just can't make a cohesive cast. It's just too late. I think you should bring back some of the OGs because there's a nostalgia factor to Housewives. We don't always want new people. We have to be invested in your life. I want to see how Simon's doing. I want to meet, Brianna's daughter. There is something nostalgic about seeing how these people are. It's why Jersey works so well. Let's be honest. I care about Gia.
Jersey had a season. Oh my God, they're still doing well.
When Teresa moved out of her house, I was like, I remember when you moved in, picking up a tile. So I think you can't just keep casting new people and expect it to fit. The viewers need to fall in love with you. Otherwise, they're just going to tear you down.
I think that's why Shannon still has a job, personally. I mean, no, I'm not coming for her. I just think that's why they kept Shannon.
You need something to hold on to.
Do you think the OC should do what New York did and have literally 2 shows, start over and have an OG show?
No, I think casting in Orange County is very hard. It's not a cool city like here.
No, it's not. No offense.
So I moved here for a reason.
You did.
Orange County is really fake. And we always say Orange County because that's the show, but it's mainly Newport. Because Orange County is diverse. Santa Ana, San Clemente. That's not where they're casting from. They're casting from a very small part of Orange County. No, it's just boring. Everyone says, what do you like about it there? I'm like, there's a lot of parking.
Yeah.
That's the best thing I can say
about it.
It's
spread out.
It's a great place to raise kids, I guess, because
place.
There's so much parking and great schools.
Yes.
But when I'm home now, because I do, we do nesting, so I'm in and out every other week. I go home. I'm with the kids full time. I don't even bother going out because I can only go to Mastro's and Javier's so many times. And The Quiet Woman, by the way, it's boring.
It's just those 3. Those
it's
are
like
really
cover bands
the only 3.
From the 80s. I'm like, I'd rather stay at home and watch.
Mind you, every time I say this all the time, every time I'm there and go to Mastro's, I don't see none of you. Heather and Terry are there all the time. I see nobody. I've been there 8,000 times. No, I go to The Quiet Woman. Where is everyone? But
yeah, Shannon goes to Quiet Woman a lot, but she goes out later. I'm in bed by 10, so I go early.
Me too.
Noella goes to Mastro's a lot. I used to go to Mastro's more because there's a really hot server there. But
it's a good scene there. Do you think, I mean, then to your point, it's not the cool city like New York. Do you think they should just listen? Dallas has moved on.
If I was in charge, I would move it to Peacock.
You would?
And bring Miami full-time to Bravo.
Because you know what I would do if I was in charge? This is, I mean, well, what do you think they should do? Here's the OC Braunwyn.
All right, this is what you need to do.
You used to be a housewife. Let's bring Braunwyn back as producer. I'm giving you a promotion now.
Bring back Vicki, Tamra, Megan King, Heather. Keep those 4 staples because they were a good combination together. I mean, that was iconic. Then you have a choice. Cast some of their friends. Tamra has some great friends. Heather has friends. I don't know them, so I don't know if they're great or not. Tamra's I know in life. And then, or bring back like Alexis or Gretchen.
You and I are so alike.
I mean, those are good.
This is just the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
First of all, Megan she's underrated, but her whole life has changed now. So she's a different person, people. Bring her back.
I'm friends with Megan.
Yeah.
In like real life.
And I've spoken to her.
And
recently.
I love her because she is unapologetically herself. She is honest. She is raw. She went through hell and back, and she is standing. She is now a single mom working to support those kids.
Yeah.
Like she's a freaking badass.
It'd be like a new housewife with OG
But yeah,
nostalgia.
Alexis, Gretchen, Megan King.
I agree. I mean, Alexis's life is totally different than you saw when she was on it.
Right. She's not Jesus jugs anymore. Now she's got like a hot boyfriend. She's living the dream of that.
That would be a core cast.
Mm-hmm.
But I
think you got to go back to its roots. Try it out on Peacock, see if it hits, and then bring it back.
Or, I agree. Or I say you just got to start over. I say the integration won't work.
Yeah, or you start over.
And personally, for me, if you were going to start over, I think you need to go not 20s. Listen, I like Housewives older.
You can't do 20s.
I do.
40s.
I just think, if we're going to I think then we have to go like the Hills, a little bit older.
Little kids, no offense, take a lot of time. They're boring. You want people that are a little bit older because you have more free time. You can travel more.
Yeah.
Like, you need women that are a little older. And also, this is the truth, as a woman, you find yourself in your late 30s, early 40s. Yes. That's when you come into your own. So, yeah, no, I agree. There's some amazing people out there that they could find. They need to start over and just do an actual reboot.
Do you think they would cancel this?
I mean, I'm sure it's not off the table. It's a lot of money. And look at things like Ultimate Girls Trip, Summer House. Those are low filming cost. So it's not
people
just ratings.
Always say to me, like, because the ratings for Summer House, they're not great. Listen, that show's come a long way, but I always tell people, I'm like, it is such a cheap show. Yeah. That's what it is.
Like, you have to keep in mind the cost, the production crews. You could do a much different show with one or two crews for a shorter shooting schedule. Yeah.
And I can tell you this, I don't know what Heather gets paid to come back, but I would think it's I would think it's 7 figures. That's my honest opinion. I don't think Heather came back so easily. I really don't.
I mean, I don't know.
And Shannon's salary is still up there.
Yeah.
It's up there.
So it's expensive.
It's an expensive show.
I can't wait to see what happens.
They
can't keep this up, though. This was painful. It was hard.
Do you agree with everyone who says, I mean, I saw something today that says, like, worst Orange County housewife in years, Jennifer Armstrong. I'm not saying it. I'm just repeating what I've read today.
I think that Jennifer, because I know her personally, I think that Jennifer has a very fine line to walk because she is the breadwinner of her family. So you don't want your doctor throwing glasses and flipping tables. No. She has to keep that line of professionalism. And that is hard in the housewife bubble. So, I'm sure there's a lot of things that she wish she would have said. I know for a fact a lot of her funny best scenes were cut. I know that because, But I think that's hard. I think you have to remember she has to pay her bills, guys. And no one's going to go to a doctor that's like a hot mess, whatever. So.
No. What about how do you think Noella did? Even though you didn't watch every minute, she was very, listen, a lot of people, a lot of the things that people said about you, Heather Dubrow has put it out there too, but the audience themselves are like, they don't buy it with Noella. They think that she is acting. They think she came and studied. They think that her scenes are fake.
Well, she was a huge fan. She did study it, and she loved Housewives, but I don't think you should hold that against her. Her life imploded. She went into filming with one life. I'm happily married. I'm rich. Life is great. To what the hell just happened? Now, keep in mind, I'm friends with James. So James is one of my good friends. So I am a little bit more like, okay, this is what's, but obviously during divorce, there's a lot of he said, she said. But her life imploded. And I think she was trying to put on a strong front. I think she was self-medicating a lot in the beginning. Just as her friend. I think she was just acting out of anger and rage and hurt. I think at the end of the day, she was so hurt. I think she was so hurt.
By what was going on in her life.
Yeah, I think it blindsided her. And I think she was blindsided by how much the women disliked her. I wasn't. I was like, if they don't like me, they're not going to like you. But I really think she thought that her and Heather were going to be close. I know she did, actually. I know for a fact. She thought they were all, that they were going to be friends. She thought she was going to make new friends. I don't. And you can watch. She watched me go through it, but I don't think you were really prepared for it. And I was like, they're not going to like you.
Did you tell her this?
I mean, no, because when she was hired, I was fired. We never talked again. But I know that it takes a very strong, secure woman to be friends with Noella. And none of those women are.
Not even Heather?
Heather, I mean, let's be honest, that Heather's good at putting other people down to make herself look better, I think. But that card game, I couldn't help but laugh because I got my kids the same one for Christmas.
You did?
I mean, my kids are in their 20s, but that wasn't porn. If you think that's porn, then I'm so sorry for your sex life.
That became a thing. Are you shocked at her friendship with Shannon, though? I mean, they're
No, I'm not. You need an ally on that show. And, no. Noella has the biggest heart. It's just so... If anyone just gave her a chance and saw past the sex dungeon craziness and the stacks, that's just kind of her shtick. That's her thing. She's over the top. She loves the reaction. But her core thing is she just wants to be loved. She really is.
So you don't think she's as fake as what the audience seems to think? A lot of them. Do you think she'll be back?
I think with Orange County, I have no clue what they're going to do because something's broken. They're going to fix it. And it's been broken for a while. And they haven't fixed it. So I feel like I don't know what you're going to do.
And also, you don't put yourself in this. You want Vicki and Tamra and Jesus Jugs and Megan. You don't put yourself in there?
I wouldn't go back. It really wasn't for me.
Really?
I would do something like Ultimate Girls Trip, quick in and out. I am an empath. I feel things. I'm not like Tamra, who just turns it off. It really does affect me. I get emotionally involved. I think I'm better suited for what I'm doing now. I feed off the energy of helping people. I love the connection, the real one. I can't do the dirty anymore. It's just not. It's hard to be sober and work a program and be a housewife. They don't go together.
They don't go together. Would you ever do a Tamra or a Kelly Dodd and spend all day, every day, or David Yontef talking about housewives behind a microphone?
I wouldn't. I am working with a media group. I have a meeting with them. I want to take Amplified Voices, which I started during the pandemic, just at home with my Instagram, to another level. But that won't be housewife based. That'll be, sharing stories, LGBTQ, sobriety, uplifting. That's my passion. I love.
You should have
stories.
A podcast in that space.
Last night I was at an amazing restaurant, Caillou, that opened up last night.
Where's that? China. Is it in Brooklyn?
It's not. It's KYU is how you spell it. There's one in Miami. Okay. And so I was talking to the chef there last night. He's sober and wants to share his story in this. And I reached out to the top chef, Sasha, who's sober. I was watching on the plane. I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of you. And so that to me, will I have people from Bravo on the show? Absolutely, because a lot of them are my friends.
Yeah.
But I think for me, my passion is, sobriety, LGBTQ, mental health, and then sharing stories. Because I think when you share the stories of others, you can connect. And that's how you break down barriers.
Okay, see? What else? So then what do you think is the misconception people still have? What do you think people still have wrong about you? that they don't realize that these are your passions and this is you moving on. And I mean, we all evolve in life.
You know, I think I'll still get thirsty. I'll still get narcissist. I'll still get bad mom. You know, I don't even have a nanny right now. It's just, you know, me and Sean doing our thing. I think I'll always get those because people put them out there.
Right. Bad mom. Why are you in New York? Where are your kids? I've seen that on your Instagram all the time.
Yeah, where are my kids? You know, it doesn't matter if how many times someone explains co-parenting or nesting. People are always going to blame the mom. I joke because my co-parent hasn't gotten one of those. But you know, we're finding a new groove that works for us, and for me, as a gay woman, getting out of Newport Beach was healthy. You know, I needed to be able to explore that side of myself.
Do you love being in New York?
Oh my God, so much.
You do.
I have cried tears of joy in Central Park.
Right?
Like I walk through the park sometimes, and I just am so grateful that that I get to live my life this way. Like I get to wake up in bed next to Victoria, and that's
in Brooklyn.
Magical. You know, it's magical that I get to spend my life with a woman, and I get to be in this city that I always say no one comes here to fail.
No.
You don't come to, you don't come to New York because you're like, yeah, I'm giving up in life.
Right.
When I'm
like,
here.
I just want an easy life.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to New York, you know?
And I get to be Braunwyn here. I don't have to be anyone's wife, anyone's mother, anyone's daughter. I've never had that.
I like that.
It's beautiful. And I love it. And I love all the possibilities here. Like, I love it. I cry. I will be in Central Park crying tears of joy. And I hope every woman at some point gets to live their life and, you know, people come at me for being a narcissist for saying this, for themselves. But it's not like that. It's not at the expense of others. My kids are doing great. I get to live my life tapping into that core inner part of us that makes us us.
I'm a single person, so you don't need to tell me about that. Yeah, you have to you got to live it for yourself and, right? Like, to be all encompassing.
I love my relationship with my older two daughters, because they're adults now, you know, has gotten so much better because they see their mom as a person now. You know, Rowan and Bella and I are so close, closer than we've ever been, and I love that.
Have they come to New York to visit yet?
They haven't yet. So Bella hasn't met Victoria. She doesn't want to.
Really?
She's still not comfortable with the whole thing with her parents. Rowan and Vic talk all the time, so Rowan will be the first one to come out here. But right now, Vic and I are trying to make our relationship based on us, not the kids.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Right? Do you guys have like a favorite restaurant in New York or favorite place to go?
We do. There is a little egg place in Brooklyn. Do you know what I'm talking about in Williamsburg?
Brooklyn, no.
Okay, that's where we go.
No shade to Brooklyn. I
love
guess
Brooklyn.
I'm one of those Manhattanites. I know it's all the city, and Brooklyn, there's more going on in Brooklyn now than in Manhattan, but I am just one of those, like, can't you just come to me today?
Yeah, no, I love getting in the city. I try to get to the park as much as I can. We do Avra a lot.
I love
and
Avra.
then where's that place that we went yesterday? It is
Avra is one of my favorites.
And I'm there all the time.
That whole area, Fresco by Scotto is my favorite. Right there, 52nd Street.
It's so good. So we're at Avra. I love Balthazar. There's a little French place.
You go uptown, you go downtown. That's good.
I go everywhere.
What French place in Midtown?
What's it called? Where's my phone? They have
La Goulet.
No, it is.
I'm thinking of that whole Midtown scene still.
And I'm gonna take the time to get to know this because they have this burrata prosciutto thing.
That sounds good.
No, we ordered 2 of them yesterday. We ate the first one.
Listen, I love some food, so you don't need to tell me about any of that. You know what I wanted to ask you also before we wrap up? I mean,
it's not Ladurée.
Oh, I love Ladurée.
267 Lafayette Street. What is that?
267 Lafayette Street. Huh. And
she sent me the address
French?
Yesterday.
I'm trying to okay, let me think. I don't know, but I like...
St. Ambrose.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, okay.
I love how I'm on the maps thing.
There's one in the West Village.
There you go.
There's one uptown. Yeah,
that's my other favorite place. Avra and St. Ambrose.
Those are okay. Those are good ones. I'm like Lafayette Street. Do you think it's possible to, like we talk about Noella, like, is it possible to come into Housewives just like real anymore? It's kind of like where we started this conversation. Like, is it possible for anyone, or is it
No.
just no?
It's not, because even if you want to and you have the best intentions, when you get into a scene to film it, they're like, hey, we need you to talk about X, Y, and Z. We need this to happen. No, I don't think it is anymore. I think you have to go into it knowing although not scripted, it's produced. You're going to become a character, and you have to be okay with that. No, there's no reality left back into it like it used to be.
Right. Like, you're told to talk about something that
Right.
you may not be ready to talk about. And
Yeah.
so
So
then there
think,
are cameras.
Yeah. So I think, if you want reality, go watch a documentary or spy on your neighbor.
And what's going to happen to Bravo? Like, okay, I mean, I'm not saying crisis mode, people, but the ratings are down for the OC. New York, I mean, was abysmal, and now we have 2 shows. Shahs of Sunset is canceled. What now? You know what I mean? Like, Vanderpump had a bad season. I mean, I'm not so sure Vanderpump is coming back between you and me.
I think you need to look at what's working right now. Quick hits. Love is Blind, The Ultimatum. These are things that people are tuning into. Netflix and Hulu sort of have it down.
Netflix has come out of nowhere, honey.
I think you need to change the formula a little bit, and I think everyone knows that. People came out of the pandemic. We want to tune into something. We want to get obsessed with it, and then we move on to the other thing. We have short attention spans.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone sends me a text that's too long, I'm like, oh, I can't read that. So I think Bravo obviously has a lot of smart people working there, and they're going to start realizing things like the Ultimate Girls Trip is going to become more popular.
Yeah.
Where we're going to have these quick little mashups, low cost to produce, in and out. People tune in.
Instead of your $1 million, here's your 200,000. Just go and film this and get out.
And it's a 10-day filming schedule. You get to check in with people, but it's not the commitment because it just doesn't work anymore.
And it's light. It's light. We're not going dark. We're not going
Post-pandemic, no one wants that anymore. We're done. We want light. We want uplifting. We want McDonald's for the brain.
Kind of. Before I ask you one more question, do you keep in touch with anyone but Tamra from your experience?
Megan King. We didn't film together, actually.